Good morning, gentle people of the South Coast. I hope you all had a good Easter weekend, a peaceful Easter weekend, and a chocolate-logged Easter weekend. Today, I want to tell you about a very easy, inexpensive, and very effective way to improve your life. Writing. I kid you not, writing. Remember back in the day when we had diaries, and I'm not talking about the diaries where we, noted what appointments and meetings we had, but the diaries we used to write our little secrets in and then hide away at the back of the drawer and hope that our parents wouldn't discover it. Well, that action is now called journaling. And I don't know who of you will remember that years ago, and I'm talking a good 15 years ago, Oprah Winfrey talked a lot about her journaling and the benefit it had had to her personally and to others. Well, subsequent to that, some research had been done into journaling. And it had been found that it is greatly beneficial to our mental and physical health. Yes, our physical health as well. So what is journaling? Journaling is a record of your thoughts, your feelings, and behaviors, and those of others by implication. So psychologists will tell you, and common sense should tell you, that if we do not reflect on our experiences, on our behaviors, then we can't improve them, we can't change them. We get kind of stuck in a default setting on autopilot. It is estimated that we spend about 83% of our time, waking time, in a pre-conscious state, an autopilot, a default setting. And unless we consciously go and change that, just like your laptop, your computer, you have a default font and it's going to produce your work in that font, unless you go into the settings and change that font to something that is more pleasing to you. It's the same with our mental life. Just for a little bit of background, our brain forms neurological pathways. Those are connections that are made in the brain and that become habitual. So you don't have to think about how to make tea. You can go have a conversation, read a book, and all the while be making a cup of tea or coffee. You don't have to think about it. It's a default. It's a habit. It is something that is embedded in your brain. Now, many of our behaviors are that. Many of our reactions and utterances are just that. They are our default setting. They are our, I want to say, unconscious way of engaging with the world on a daily basis. Now, the only way we can change that is by becoming aware, making the unconscious conscious, becoming aware of what we do automatically, and then examining it and finding something that is more pleasing to us. Writing is the answer, or at least some of the answer, because we think on average about 70 to 80,000 thoughts a day. Now, our brain, as we all know, can race around at a mile a minute. That hamster on the wheel goes round and round and round and round and round. And one very effective way to stop it is to write. The brain has to slow down so the hand can keep up. And in that process of the brain, the feelings, the emotions, the actions, flowing through your pen onto the page, the brain processes it, it sees it and heals and adjusts. It externalizes those things. You give it to the page, and in doing so, a whole lot of beneficial things happen to you. And I am testament to that because I have journaled for the last 15 years. I've got an entire shelf full of journals which are a record of the story of my life, if you will. And when one journal is full, I go to one of our really nice bookshops and I treat myself to a beautiful journal. And I have a special pen that I particularly enjoy writing with. And that is my journaling pen and book, so that it is a most enjoyable and creative activity for me. So in writing things down, we externalize them. They are now outside of us, and in the process, in the time it takes for the hand to put it down, the brain has slowed down and processing has happened, and the brain sees it in a new way. Now, someone said, a life unexamined is a life not worth living. And so it is to our benefit to examine our lives, to look at those automatic things we do. You know, when we say, oh, Johnny always gets very angry when X happens, and that is a default setting. He was not born with that. It is something he has repeated often enough to become a default setting. And unless Johnny examines it, writes it down, and finds a more pleasing way of going through the world, that is going to be his default setting. So journaling, as I've said, makes the unconscious conscious. This means you can become aware of the things that you do and think so automatically and have done it that way for so long that you don't question it anymore. It's a way of questioning the way you've made sense of the world and finding better ways to make sense of the world, because that is essentially what it's all about becoming better at who you are and becoming better at that which is important to you. Perhaps those things were useful to you 5 years ago, 10 years ago. Perhaps they were true 5 and 10 years ago. But unless you examine them, you will never really know whether they are still true and valuable to you. Those beliefs, long-held beliefs, that there's only one way of dealing with a person or dealing with a situation or reacting to something, will remain that unhelpful, unhealthy way unless you examine it. And you can start slow to transform your life. Example, think about habits you'd like to change. Write them down. Write down why you would like to change them. How would your life be better? What would your life look like if you managed to change those habits that you at a deeper level know that are not serving you, but they are part of that default setting? That is one way of doing it. Now, there are so many advantages. And as I say, these advantages have been proven. The first one we look at is it reduces stress. Writing is a neurocognitive and a sensory activity. It is a task that looks at your environment. It is introspective, and you can feel your hand, the pen on the paper. We all know we've tossed a pen aside that we feel, oh, I don't like writing with this pen. The opposite too. I've got 2 or 3 pens that I love writing with. Certain quality of paper that you love writing on. So it's a sensory activity. It is cognitive because you think. You're thinking about what you're writing. And it is neurocognitive because there are neurological pathways involved. All of these, as you write, as you externalize, it reduces stress, and that adds up to an enjoyable dynamic. Now, if it reduces stress, then it stands to reason that it improves your immune system. We all know that if you've been under a lot of stress, you tend to get sick more often, you pick up the flu more regularly, you take longer to recover, and that is all because your immune system has been under pressure. And stress is a great contributor to that. So if you reduce your stress, you improve your immune system. Endorphins are released, those feel-good hormones. Your liver function improves. Asthma has been known to improve, and your digestive system improves. That have all been proven. And when those things improve, it gets even better. Then your memory improves. Who knew? Because if you've ever been anxious, if you've ever been in a panic, then you know you can't remember clearly, you forget to do things, you forget everyday things because you are in a panic, you are stressed. So again, when the stress is reduced, your memory improves, gosh, that is such a big plus in and of itself. Just simple act of writing. And again, all of these are topped with your mood improves, you are not stressed, your memory is better, your immune system is improved, so you're feeling healthier, which all results that you're in a good mood. And when you're in a good mood, everyone else around you benefits from that. And of course, you see the world as a far friendlier place and not as such a hostile place. When you're in a good mood, you have better impulse control. You don't fly off the handle. You don't have those outbursts you have when you are stressed and anxious and you can't remember and you're feeling unwell. All those things that contribute to us acting and reacting in ways that are not healthy or helpful. And then, of course, with that is emotional regulation, which goes hand in hand with the improved mood and the things that I've mentioned. We can now regulate our emotions. If you're feeling stressed, if you're feeling anxious, if you're feeling sad, go and sit with your journal. That very patient piece of paper and pen, that confidant where you can put down everything that is bothering you, that you're battling to deal with, the things that you feel are so intensely personal and private, you cannot share them with anyone. You can share them with the page, and then you can put it away knowing that it is safe and you've externalized it. So all in all, journaling has been proven to be really good for your health, mental health, physical health, relationships, and all over well-being. The simple act of writing. Of course, because it is an intensely personal conversation with your journal, please keep it in a place where other people in your household are not likely to stumble across it, because human curiosity tells me they will open it and read it, and this may not be what you want. So go out, treat yourself to a beautiful book, to a pen you enjoy writing with. And if you really want to be creative, you can cut pictures out in magazines, you can put photographs in of events or people or things that are pertinent to that particular topic you're writing on, and start having fun, being creative, and at the same time improving your mental and physical health. It really is a calming, creative, and emotional and well-being exercise, and it becomes a lifelong habit. As I say, I've got a whole shelf full of journals, and I have not for one moment thought that had been a waste of time. I generally journal first thing in the morning when it's quiet and the world is still at peace, and I can be with myself and my journal, but it's a personal choice. You may want to journal in the evening, at the end of a day, to process that way what has happened that day. And as I say, once you look back at your journal, you may see certain patterns that come to light. You may see certain habits that have always resulted in certain consequences that you can now amend and adjust. So please go and try it. Go and start journaling. Write down your feelings, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Examine them, explore them, and then leave them on the page so that you start the next phase, the next day, whenever you do it, the rest of the day, in a better frame of mind, in a healthier frame of mind, because that's where it all starts. Nothing will change unless your mind changes. The way you make sense of the world, your unexamined beliefs and habits, those things that inform the way you go about life. So have a go at that. If anybody would like to get hold of me, you are very welcome to do so. It would be my pleasure and privilege. And you can do so on 082 330 2439. So do enjoy the rest of your day and the rest of your week. It's been a short one. I can get used to this. But improve yourself, improve your life, and say this is an exercise that is easy. You can do it anywhere. You can do it when you're on holiday. You can do it when you're waiting in the car for the kids after school. You can do it when you're sitting at a doctor's appointment. So try it. Let me know if you like how you've experienced it, and improve your life one line at a time.
The radio station you can't live without. This is your radio.
This is South Coast Radio.